All right, I'm gonna mute out, guys.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys. So one of the things that I wanted to go over today, looks like you can see my screen, so that's good. Hang on a second. Sometimes it takes two shares. There we go. Are certainly some best practices, a few updates that we have, and then just any Q&A. So just first of all, if you do have any questions, just go ahead and drop them into the chat. We'll answer them at the end. So any questions at all, just drop in there, and you can just drop them in as we're going too. It doesn't necessarily have to be right now. So some of the updates to the tool. Now the updates, there was some confusion with some people. They are automatically applied to your Chrome extension. Okay, so when the update comes through the Chrome store, literally as soon as you reopen it or start using it the next time, those are automatically applied. So you'll see, as you continue to sort of join in calls with us, and as you just see how we operate, we're constantly adding things, we're constantly updating things. Okay, and these are automatically applied to your extension. Okay. So this week we added a lot more log details. Okay, we need to be able to constantly keep up with the changes that Facebook is doing. So we have a logging function within the tool that sometimes will actually ask you to um, send us the logs if needed. Okay, so if there's something going on. So we added a lot more log details this week. Super important. Okay, in order for us to really kind of stay on top of everything. We are going to begin restricting accounts to a single campaign. So with the next push that we put into the Chrome store, and there's a couple reasons for this. You heard me talk about this recently, that at some point in the future, it's going to be an upgrade to run multiple campaigns. It has not been at this point. It's just not been our focus. But we're seeing some inconsistencies between multiple campaigns running at the same time. So it's more for the smoothness of your extension right now. You really should only be running one campaign anyhow. But in the next update, you'll see that. We also had some issues with numbers. We had one of our users put a number in the name of their group, and it messed everything up. So we had to fix that. We also had an issue with sending messages a little too fast, and that's been fixed as well. Okay. Now, some people have responded that the tool seemingly is not responding. Okay, the tool is always working. Okay, and most of the functions trigger every 30 to 40 minutes randomly. So it's between 30 and 40 minutes. And if you look at the messages that are going out, you'll see this. Okay, sometimes it's 32, sometimes it's 38, kind of thing. Okay, so it is very random, which makes it seem much more like a person is doing this, and Facebook likes that a lot better. Okay. It is based on a queue system, okay, where actions are they get put into a line and triggered at some advanced point. Okay, we don't actually trigger more than 3 messages in any 30 to 40 minute period. And it's always one intro message and follow-up messages if they're in the queue. Okay, if they're not in the queue at that point, it'll wait until the next 30 to 40 minutes to send those follow-ups. So a few people have asked our support, hey, what's going on? It doesn't seem to be following up. Okay, that's the reason. It's actually in a queue waiting to be followed up with as soon as the next queue comes up. So it does happen. Trust us. Okay. And sometimes it may seem like it's not responded or it's not responding, but it absolutely will. And the best way to really check this is to use the Facebook Messenger app, not the browser. The browser pops up all those little windows, or it has that pop down function for the messages. If you use the Messenger app, you can really see what messages have gone out. You can see the timestamps on them. It's just much easier to follow what the tool is doing. And it's no problem to look at those things. don't respond, let the tool do the response for you, so it leads them all the way through the entire campaign. So that's really important. Okay. Well, let's see here. There we go. We had an old slide in there. I apologize. A note about personal campaigns. Okay. If you click that little button that says, I want to review my contacts first, and then upload. Okay, don't start the campaign yet. Okay, when you complete that campaign setup, okay, it's not going to be running, but it will begin to grab all of your personal contacts. So this is important. We've had quite a few people come to us and say, hey, this doesn't seem to be running, but you got to give it some time, because this function runs every 4 hours. And every 4 hours, it'll pull down 500 records from your personal, or it's the same thing. If you're using the scrape function on the scraper tool and scraping a group, every 4 hours, it's going to pull in about another 500 contacts. Okay. Again, we do this very slowly, so it protects your account and it doesn't freak out Facebook. Okay. So when you do click that button, you might have to wait, a few hours before you'll start seeing results go in there for either a personal campaign, of which you can, if you haven't figured this out, you can go into the users function of the tool, and you can delete anybody in there that you don't want to have see your messaging. Okay, so that's really important. First time I set this up for my personals, I went and deleted all my family and my close friends and all that, all those sorts of folks, and then started the campaign. So that's really important. And then, of course, you would just start the campaign by clicking any of the multiple different ways to restart a campaign, either through the interface that you see here or through the drop-down interface. Both will do the same exact thing. So the scraper will delay about 40 minutes. It'll scrape 500 contacts every 4 hours. Let it run until all the contacts are in, okay, before you start deleting. Okay, so let it just continue to run. It might take a few days if you have a lot of contacts, okay, to get all those in there. Okay. Now, how to get the log? This is the next one that we've had numerous people asking about. The log function is located on the drop down. Okay, so if you click the little ATM, the green ATM icon up in your browser window, it is going to show this drop down. And at the bottom of that drop down, it says download the logs. Okay, the logs save all the activity of the tool. So every bit of activity that's going on with the tool is saved into the logs. And this is very helpful for us to troubleshoot anything that might be going on with your account, as well as trouble anything that might be going on with Facebook. Both of those things happens because Facebook changes things fairly constantly. So we're constantly responding. Okay. And as I said, if you click that little green icon in your browser bar, you'll see this drop down. At the bottom of the drop down is where that function is. And if you just click that little link there where the red arrow is pointing to, and then that allows you to download the logs and send them to us. Okay, so that's super, super important. Okay, so that's kind of the housekeeping that we wanted to go over. Our new releases and some of the things that seemingly look like they may not be working, but in fact they absolutely are. Okay, so let's now get into how to write a good intro message. Okay, this is such a critical function. I'm going to spend a good amount of time on it, because once you understand how to write a good intro message, you're going to get much more response from that initial message that goes out. Okay, so this is super important. Okay, and we have tested this and continue to test it all the time. So anytime that we see a change going on or something that's not working as well, we're going to come back to you and say, hey, take this out, put this in. It's really important. We have, at any given point, I have 8+ accounts, test accounts running. So we are constantly testing to get to the best messaging for you, so that you can have the same level of success. Okay, so that's super important. Okay. So that intro message is by far the most important message that goes out. It is designed to get a response. That's what we're looking for. That's the whole purpose of that intro message, is to get a response. Now, Asking questions is no doubt the best strategy for that intro message among other things. You'll also want to find an associated topic to include in that. And in a second, I'm going to go through one of the intro messages that we're using right now, which is working super well. All right. So you want to find an associated topic. If it's, if it's cars, you want to say, hey, I saw that you're interested in cars, kind of thing. You'll always want to personalize it. So you've seen me talk about the ability of the tool to personalize messages. That's really, really important. Always, always, always personalize. You always want to ask permission. Okay, so this is a very important thing. You're asking for the permission to continue a conversation with them, okay, and leading them towards your call to action, okay. And then use a friendly tone. Friendly tone is really important, okay? So you want to be as friendly as you possibly can in that first intro message. Now, something that we have talked about in the past, which we are now retracting, is don't reference the group you found them in. We are finding that this strays the conversation too much, and they begin asking you questions. Okay, we want to be the ones asking questions, because what we're looking for in this first intro message is really a yes or no. That's the way we want to have it written. And that's the response we're looking for, is like, hey, are you interested or not? Right? So that's all we're looking for, is that yes or no. And we found that when we put in the reference to the group, they were saying, oh, what group did you find me in? It's like, no, 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 no. Yes or no. That's what we're looking for here. So we're going to retract that, take that out, and I'll walk you through what we're doing in just a second as far as removing that information. Okay. So here is an intro that we are currently using. Okay. This is got all the elements in it that I just spoke about. All right. So one of the most important element is that personalization. So actually, before I do that, let's just go ahead and read through this. So hi, Linda. Linda, I can see Linda's on the call. I saw you were interested in affiliate marketing because I found Linda in an affiliate marketing group. Would you be interested in a tool that automates lead generation for your affiliate marketing business? Let me know, and I can send you some information to check it out. Have a great day. Okay, so that's our first initial, and of course, we're going to write 3 versions of that so that we stay under, Facebook's radar of sending the same message out. Okay, they don't need to be all that different. Okay, they just need a few things changed on them. Okay, so let's look at this message to sort of dive into all the elements that are in this message, so you can begin to understand, why it is that, everything back here that we just saw, okay, relates to here now. Okay, so hi, personalized first name, right? This is going to be the hi Linda, or the hi Jorik, or the hi Lola, or the hi Leonard. All right. I saw that you're interested in affiliate marketing. There's our joint interest. Okay. Again, now I've removed any reference at this point to a group. Okay. You may have seen in their profile that they're interested in affiliate marketing. You may have seen them in a post somewhere. Okay. So we don't want them to come back to us and ask us a question. Oh, well, where'd you see me? Okay. Instead, I saw that you're interested in this topic. Okay. Now, we always want to put it in the form of a request. We're requesting permission. Would you be interested? Okay, I don't want to send that person anything until they tell me that they're interested. Otherwise, there's no reason to continue the conversation at this point, as far as the tool's concerned and as far as we are concerned. Okay, so that's really important. But we're requesting permission to continue that conversation. We're asking it as a question. Okay, would you be interested in a tool that automates lead generation for your affiliate marketing business? Okay, so that's super important. Okay, that question asking. And then again, a nice friendly tone. Have a great day. Okay, let me know and I can send you some information out. Have a great day. Okay, that friendly tone is so important. Okay, I have, in all the testing that we did as we were leading up to building this tool, I was doing all this manually. So I was gathering all this information and just like typing and talking to people all the time. And I've had people come to me and just go, oh, no, how did you get my information? Like, why are we talking? Why are we here? I'm like, Because you responded and I sent you a message. That's why. It's like, it's not rocket science, and I'm not trying to bother you or anything. I'm just trying to see if this is something you're interested in. Okay. So much like the no's that we encounter, we're going to get those no's. But the beauty is the tool doesn't care whether it's a no or not. It's just going to keep going. So that's the way it is. Okay. So that's really important. So that's sort of the breakdown of what goes into a good intro message, is that personalization, finding that joint interest in there, requesting permission, asking a question, nice friendly tone. All right. So you can use this exact thing that you see here. Okay. I mean, exactly. And just replace in there whatever it is that you're marketing, whatever your company is, whatever, if it's the product that you're marketing or the company or a combination of those things. Okay. This is a really good framework for you to continue with this in this exact same manner. So feel free to steal this, take a screenshot of it right now, go ahead and use it. All right. That's why it's there for you. And I'll go ahead and I'll drop this into the Facebook group too, so you can see exactly how to write that intro message there as well. Okay. So best practices. So let's review these kind of as a summation of the absolute best practices to have. Okay. Now you always want to use 3 different messages. This is really important. So sometimes I'll say hi, sometimes I'll say hey, first name. Okay. Sometimes I'll say I saw you, sometimes I see that you're interested. Okay. Little changes, that's all that matters, but they have to be different. Okay. You can use conjunctions, by the way, to switch up text. So you can say, I saw that you are, or I saw that you're in. Okay. So I saw that you are in, whatever it may be, okay, into affiliate marketing, or you are, so feel free to use conjunctions. Those are fine for changing the messages a little bit. And again, we're looking to start a conversation and have interested people rise to the top. So that's the whole purpose of this first message. Okay, starting a conversation and seeing who's interested. Much more effective way than us doing what I was doing manually. Okay. And again, don't reference group names. This leads to our conversation away from our ultimate call to action. So that's really, really important. So keep those group names out of that first message. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to questions now. I know a few of you have joined, so why don't you just go ahead and pop in the chat if you do have any questions. Michael's saying, Bill, I could not get on via my phone. Oh, okay. Apologize there, Michael. I'm not sure what was going on there. Usually that is fine. So any questions at all, go ahead now at this point. You can either drop it into the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, that's also fine. Okay. Unmuting yourself, you should be able to do that easily just by clicking that little unmute. Okay. Let me make sure that that is actually the case here. Hang on a second. Nina, how are you? Yeah, you should be able to unmute yourself. That should all be completely open. And I know that some of you did join late. I will go ahead and put this training up in the Facebook group. Now, I talked to JB earlier this week, and we are going to rebrand the Facebook group without any links to the tool. So for those that would like to or are already promoting the tool itself, okay, you can go right to our main group, which has got all the information in it, everything that you need, okay? So I'm specifically talking about this group here. Let me just pull it up real quick. I'm specifically talking about this group here. Okay, so the AutoATM system. So we'll be removing in the next couple of days. Like there's a link, I think in here. Okay, and there's a link there. Those will go away, so that you can go ahead and use this as your own ATM group. We already have a bunch of activity in the main ATM post here So go ahead and feel free to use that yourself. You'll start seeing a lot of our test accounts adding people to this. Okay, those test accounts are actually actively working. Okay, so you'll see a few familiar faces of our test accounts in there and actually promoting the tool themselves. Um, so that's always fun. And we are working on we've already had a couple of requests from sort of bigger leaders of can we do sort of a managed service where we have 4 or 5 or 10 or 20 accounts running all at the same time, promoting just their link. Yes, we can. We have figured this out. We're in the process of figuring out what the pricing is going to look for that, since it does require a VA to monitor that. And what that VA will be doing is every time they see a conversation that needs to be taken over, they're going to three-way in the person that has hired us to do that managed servicing for them and make that introduction. And then that person takes over with that lead and closes that person themselves, since our VAs will only be trained to monitor and make those connections. Okay. And follow up any conversation that needs to happen at that point in order to facilitate that connection. So that is coming, and that's in the works right now. I don't see any questions. I just wanted. Yep.
How you doing today? So I had a campaign that we were talking about on the last Zoom that we had, and so I stopped that campaign because it was initially was affiliate marketing. Then I started one that was a network marketing. I stopped the network marketing and I stopped the affiliate marketing. So I started one in business opportunities, and it's been running for about a week, but I'm actually getting responses from the affiliate marketing one, but I'm not getting any response at all or anything on the new one.
Okay, that's probably then a result of the people and the quality of the people that are in that group. So I would sort of draw a line through that group as probably not a very good one and move on to a different one. I would think that business opportunity Facebook groups are probably really, really full of spam messaging already. So a good way to look at that, and we actually, Michael, it's a great sort of segue into one of the next features that we're bringing on board is we're going to allow you to go in and just scrape the responses to people's posts. So we're talking about people at that point that are much higher quality in terms of like they're already active. We know that they're active, they're responding, they're actually using it, they're not just posting a bunch of sort of spammy kind of junk stuff, right? So that's where we're leading with that. We just think that that's just a much, much higher quality of potential prospect. But if you're not getting absolutely anything from that group, you're probably actively trying to participate with people that don't even use a Facebook at all. So that would be my suggestion.
It was a large group. There was like 100,000 people in that group.
Yeah. So if you think about it, like, if you go and look at your own sort of groups that you've joined over the years, right? If you've had a Facebook account for a while, there's probably a whole lot of them in there that you don't even pay attention to or probably have ignored at some point that you happen to be a member of. That's generally what that is. But you know what I'm saying, that if you are looking at a group, and let me just find something real quick here. So I can give you a good example. We think that this is probably the absolute best strategy. This may not be the best group. Well, no, here, let me give you this as an example. All right. So this is a really good example. So if we were marketing to, hang on a second. Okay, if we were marketing to a group like this that had 13,000 comments, okay, now so this is the Thrive group that you've seen me use for a lot of examples, okay. Well, those people are actively using Facebook, Okay, we know that for sure, because if we, click on these guys and dive into this, we know for sure that these people are actively every day using it, because here they are, 5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever, 6 hours ago. There's a whole bunch of them in here. 4 hours ago, 1 day ago. Those are the people that we know for sure. So this is why we're saying, like, this is our next iteration of being able to come in here and say, show me everybody in this, that is responding to this. So this is and one of the ways you can tell with this too, Michael, okay, is if I come over here to our groups, okay, and search for, let's just use affiliate marketing, okay. I'm sorry, this is my own group. Hang on a second. Hit the wrong button. So I'm going to do a search for affiliate marketing. I'm going to go to groups. Okay. If I see groups that haven't posted since a long time, okay. So here's one that's 10 posts a day. So that's a pretty active group, 10 posts a day, 10 posts. Okay, but if I see a group that, even if that has 100,000 people in it and there's no posts showing at all, okay, that tells me that's a pretty dead group. Okay, here's another one with 10 posts a day. So that's an active group. Here's a public group on affiliate marketing, okay, that has 0 posts a day. Okay, so this is a dead group. So this is one that is not going to be very fruitful for us to do that. 3 posts a day, it's okay. 10 plus posts a day, that's what we're looking for. 7 a day, 10 a day, 8 a day. These are all active groups. Okay. 4 a day, not bad. Okay. 20 posts a week. So now we're getting into one that's a little bit sleepy. Okay. And then when we get to those ones that show, 0 posts a day, like this, okay. Well, this has only got 4 members, but this is what I'm saying, is that even if there's 100,000 people, but there's no posts a day, okay, it's probably not going to produce any results for you. Does that make sense?
So remember you had your text check my, I guess, my system and what was going on, and you said it was actually initially moving too fast.
Yeah, it was your account that we made that change for. So yep.
Right. So they slowed it down, but it's like, did they actually slow it down to a snail's pace? Because I mean, so here's what's happening. Nothing happened for a whole week on this new campaign, but I still keep getting responses from the old campaign that I stopped. So the system is the system no longer following up once I stop that campaign?
Yes. So if you stop that campaign, it will stop all activities so forth. So what you'll want to do is leave that campaign open, or if you're concerned about it. So I don't have an active campaign on here, I don't believe. Hang on a second. No, I don't. This was a test.
Because I think one of them I deleted. I think I actually deleted the second one too. So that means I can't really do anything with that.
Yeah. So you'll want to, if you stop the campaign from running, okay, that means it stops all follow-up activity as well too. Okay. So that's something that that's basically shutting it down for that particular set of people. Okay. If that makes sense. Okay. So you need to keep that.
Something about the scraping tool. Can you go over that for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
How the scraping tool actually works.
Oh, you bet. Okay. And there's a good video about the scraping tool that I have on our YouTube. Am I showing my screen right now? I'm not, right? So if you go into the AutoATM training, okay, this video here really goes over how to use the scraping tool extensively. Okay. Because the thing about the scraping tool is it's got these 3 different methods, okay, of which we'll add a 4th to it, which is scrape people who have responded to a post. Okay. So the group members, everybody understands that's just all members of a particular group. Okay. Profile friends, okay, is anybody who is a friend of a specific profile. So it's your friend. So if you and I are friends, I can see your friends, Michael. Okay, that's who that is. the profile followers are anybody who follows you to get to see your updates. All right. So if we take, for an example, I always like to use my friend Tuan. Okay. Hang on a second. Let me go find him. Because he's a good one for this kind of thing. Oh, he updated his picture. Hang on a second. All right, so if you look at his follow now, he's a little bit different because he's got his friends list hidden. Okay, so that's because this is actually a page. It's not his personal account. He converted that. Okay, but generally it'll say, you know, here are your friends. Okay, and then here are the people that are followers. Okay, so in this situation here, these are his followers. Sorry, I didn't want to use that. Use this. These are the amount of people that are following him versus friends. Okay, so you know, if we wanted to find people that are interested specifically in a subject that we are you know, trying to find people under, this is a really good way to find people that have raised their hand and said, I want everything that you got. Right, so any change that you make, I want to see it. And that's what happens when someone follows versus becomes friends. Okay, so that's that main difference there of that itself. Hang on a second.
So would that work if you have a group that has only followers?
Yes, that will definitely work for a group that only has followers.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our three main differences. All right. So you've got group members, profile friends, and then people who follow a profile or the followers. Okay. And if you go on to someone's account and you see like Tuan where it says no friends there, well, you know that you're not going to be able to see their friends. You have to target their followers at that point. Make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could actually grab let's say an individual had 15,000 followers on a particular topic. You could actually use that individual and it
Yeah,
would go to
absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. So what you'll want to do is, you know, start that campaign with them. All right, and you'll see that in that training I did. If you want to walk through that training, okay, where I actually start a campaign and you'll see it immediately start to bring people in. You can just let that run, and then you can download that entire thing and let it go. Put it into a group campaign and let it go. It's a really good strategy. All righty.
Okay, great.
Cool. Anybody else have any questions? You can unmute yourself and ask that question, or you can put it into the meeting chat. You can send it by smoke signals. It'll take a little while to get here. And like I said, I'll upload this to the Facebook group, so you'll be able to see it there. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope this has been helpful. We're going to do this again tonight at 7. All right. So if you do think of any questions, you can respond to the email I sent. You can come on and post a question on the group. You can do any one of those things, or you can show up live tonight as well. Okay. All those things work. So as always, I appreciate everybody. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon.